From here, we send it to New York.
To New York.
We put it in with the Costa Rican consulate in New York. The Costa Rican consulate in New York takes it, gives us a receipt and a tracking number. He sends it down to the immigration office. Once he has sent it to the immigration office, immigration receives the documentation and puts it in a box. And they start taking out of the box as they advance. So in about 2 months from now, you'll have a file number. From the moment the file number is granted, the clock starts ticking. It should be that in the next 3 to 6 months, you should have an analysis of your file and a resolution. After that analysis, they will send it to the consulate to approve it. The consul signs and approves it, gives you a final resolution. When you get the final resolution, that is when you are a resident. At that point, with that final resolution, we pay the deposits of guarantee and then ask for an appointment to get your ID card. We take you in, get your picture there, because the ID card is like a driver's license. Yeah, it's your cedula. And then they will they will take your picture, take the information from your resolution, and send you your ID card by mail to your house. First of all, the law is a project. It's still in a commission. It has to go through the full process of the Congress that it hasn't gone through yet. Many groups are lobbying against the amounts that are being established in that project. It seems to be that there is a good, let's say, ambience or reception from the Congress that they will change those amounts and they will consider the amount. Some of them even now consider the amounts too high. So I assume that there will be lowering in the amounts of the project before the project can become a law. And that project can become a law in the next 6 months to a year. I don't see it happening before. Whoever presents or has their residency already granted, even though there was a little transitory in the law that said that it would have to be applied the new law, has by law let's say the benefit of being approved with the previous law and keeping the requirements that they originally were approved with. Nobody can set up a new set of requirements to a person that already went through the process with another law and was approved under that law. So if in the case that they want to approve the law the way it is, there is a lot of resources in the Constitutional Court against that. So I would say anybody that has their residency right now should not be afraid of having any problems with the new law, because the new law would not affect them, should not affect them, and can be fought against if it affects them. You will be presented, and the presentation would have been done with the actual law, the law that we have right now. That has to be restored with that law. If I put the file in New York, and New York receives it in a month, and in 2 months the project is law, you anyway have to be resolved with the old law. Okay? It will not happen in the next 2 or 3 months. No, I don't see it happening that way. It took them what, 5 years to be able to get through CAFTA, and it took them 2 years to get to the new transit law. And it was a national interest. Everybody was pushing for the new vehicle law. And it just became law of the Republic. And even just became law of the Republic, it has a transitory that it will not be applied for the next 9 months. So that's the way things will work with this law. Even though, let's say, they are incredibly amazing and they come up with a project that everybody likes, and everybody who raises their hand and votes it in the next 3 months, you're still in. And there will be a transitory for people that are going in right now. In March, I don't know if in March we would have a file number yet, but if we don't have a file number, you would have to exit one more time after the 90 days. Every time you're going to come into the country before you're granted your residency, you're still a tourist. Okay? The ability to stay in the country, to overstay your tourist visa is not written. It's basically dark spot in the law, because what happens if they catch you over your 90 days and you have an application of residency presented? What would happen is they catch you, they put you before the immigration police, they ask you if you are, why are you overdue? You tell them you have a file pending of approval. And basically what they're going to say is, okay, I have to resolve that file in order to be able to try to throw you out. Because you already have an application to stay here. How can I throw you out if I don't resolve that? Okay? So whoever has a file already presented and in process of approval cannot be thrown out of the country until the resolution of the residency is granted. If you're denied, then they will give you 15 days to exit the country without deportation. But in every one of the cases that the file is presented, they will just give you your passport back and tell you, okay, thank you very much. We'll wait until your resolution is finished, and we'll see what happens at that point. If you get caught, it's very difficult, but if you get caught by immigration overstaying, you tell them, okay, I have an application pending, this is my file number. Check it out, and if it's already resolved, then I'm a resident. If it's not already resolved, then you're going to have to wait until it's resolved to do anything against me. That's the way it works. The new law will apply that even though you have an application pending of residency, it will be a cause of denial if you overstay. Okay? The new law will apply the 90-day rule even though you have an application pending of approval. Before that, right now we're still under the same situation that I am telling you.
Okay.
There's ever going to be a new law. We don't even know that yet. We'll have to be exiting the country every 90 days, independently of their application or not. Because the law establishes that if you overstay, that is a cause for denial. In March, you're going to come back, and then you maybe will have to leave in 3 months. Okay, that is the only thing I can, because I don't handle that, and it depends on immigration. Sometimes I get the file number in 3 days, because your file mysteriously came up in the top of the pile. But sometimes it takes me 3 or 4 months to get a file number, because this is the end of the file. I normally tell you when I present it, I send you a copy of the presentation by email, I scan it and send it. And as soon as I get a file number, you can come in and I'll give you your file number and give you the information.
Perfecto.
Perfecto? I like perfecto.
What is corporations? Everybody's telling us that when we buy a car, we need to get a corporation.
Okay, my recommendation, if you're going to buy real estate, buy a corporation. The corporation, okay, the corporation is a liability limited, okay? Basically, in Costa Rica, the corporations are entities by themselves. So if you buy a corporation and put whatever asset into that corporation, it doesn't belong to you personally anymore. But you are the owner of the corporation, even though the corporation is anonymous. All right? You are the only one that knows who the owner of the corporation is, and you are the one. You will be the representative of the corporation. That would be registered. But the corporation is an entity by itself. So if you get into trouble, let's say you, God forbid, drive a car and kill somebody, no insurance. The government will take over whatever you have in your name to pay the person that you killed, to pay the family of the person that you killed, okay, if you don't have insurance. So that will limit that liability, because the house or whatever it is, it will not be in your name, it will be in the name of a corporation. So you will have those assets safe of any liability that you cause in a case of an accident, in the case of a lawsuit, in the case of things like that. If you keep the corporation only to hold the asset that you want to hold and to keep safe.
So
that is
recommended for a vehicle?
I would recommend it for a property. The vehicle, independently of that, if it's in the corporation's name and you crash it, you and the corporation are subject to liability, because the corporation is the owner of the car and you are the one that was driving it. So it makes no sense for me in regards to cars. In regards to properties, it does, because they stay separate, they're valuable, first of all, and they stay separate from whatever activity you can perform. The car, you will be riding the car. So the law says that if you're driving the car, whoever is driving the car and whoever is the owner of the car will be liable for the accident. So independently of being the car in a corporation or not, it will be subject of the same situation that you caused with it.
Someone also told us we needed a corporation to get a cell phone.
Yes, that's true.
Well, you do?
Yes, because you are not a Costa Rican citizen, resident, or subject of law. You're only a tourist. Why do you want a cell phone in a country that you're only a tourist? Okay? In Costa Rica, the cell phones are property of the state. It's a concession given to the person. So you cannot ask for a concession from the government if you're not subject of the Costa Rican system. Once you become a resident, you can ask for the phone. Or you can buy a corporation and get a phone line. But right now, the government-owned telephone company will not allow you to buy a cell phone if you are not a resident or if you don't do it under a corporation.